Today I'm reacting to your go-home episode of Monday Night Raw before WrestleMania Hot Takes. Hot Takes is a weekly video series where I give you all a platform to be able to voice your thoughts, whether those are good thoughts, bad thoughts, or everything in between about the world of professional wrestling. So if you'd like to be featured in the next episode of Hot Takes, make sure that you're following me on X because I ask for your hot takes there after every episode of Raw, SmackDown, and every single WWE Premium Live event. And yeah, we're going to be doing hot takes for each individual night of WrestleMania, so make sure that you're following me over there. Now, if you are looking for my full 35-minute review with footage of this episode of Monday Night Raw, it's already up and available on the Patreon, patreon.com/SantiZap, where we upload the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, and a whole bunch of extra content that never gets uploaded here to YouTube because of copyright. So go check it out. Link in the description or link in the pinned comment. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I am incredibly confident that you're going to fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. All right, let's read your stupid shit. It's crazy that they had this one Raw and still didn't do their best to build up the shoehorned Raw tag titles match. That video package barely did anything. To me, it's pretty abundantly clear that WWE has no interest in getting you excited for this actual match or getting you excited for anything to do with the Raw tag team division. To me, it's clear as day that this match is just there to be a catalyst for a bigger WrestleMania moment, which we're all expecting it to be the return of Big E, whether it's full-time return or just a one-off return so that we can get the big emotional moment. It's just a shame that they couldn't do both. Why, with this extended WrestleMania season, this is the deepest that a WrestleMania has been in the year, that gave us an extra 2 or 3 episodes of Monday Night Raw to build stuff. Why couldn't you put any ounce of effort or care into this match so that we care about the match and so that we aren't having to fantasy book some crazy WrestleMania moment to make this worth it? Listen, I know that the match from an in-ring perspective is going to be good, but if WWE can't seem to give an ounce of a care, then why should we? This feud, which is a WrestleMania feud, has had a total of 15 minutes of total screen time in this entire WrestleMania season? That's unacceptable. And the majority of those minutes came at the hand of a match that ended in a disqualification, a match that WWE themselves were barely paying attention to, considering we had to endure Tony Hinchcliffe in his nasally voice advertising his horrible comedy specials the entire time. I still stand by it as a match, as a feud. This has no business being on WrestleMania, but I guess at the very least, at least we hope, it should be the catalyst for a major WrestleMania moment. It's just a shame that they couldn't actually build this and give us the WrestleMania moment as well. I don't understand why they waited so long to give us this Gunther. His character now would have been amazing during his World Heavyweight Championship run. This was the best Gunther that we've gotten. This was the best Gunther promo that we've gotten in his main roster run. Some of the things that he was saying were just so diabolical. Loving the fact that he was in control and enjoying bathing in Jimmy Uso's blood and that he can't wait to also bathe in Jey's so that he can then call his mom and have a good old time and a laugh about how he swam in both their bloods. That's crazy work. But it was also the emotion, the intensity, how he was able to play off of the crowd. Gunther is literally the entire package, and I can see why WWE probably had to pay a pretty penny to give him a new contract while also giving him his own tour bus. You're right. I wish we had gotten this Gunther more, not just in this feud, but also his entire World Heavyweight Championship reign, because it feels like his championship reign, we've had 5 different versions of Gunther. We've had confident Gunther going up against Randy Orton. We've had shy Gunther. I don't know if I'm good enough against the Street King Damian Priest. And then whatever the hell this has been against Jey Uso. Look, I just appreciate that in this Jey Uso and Gunther feud, that at the very least, for the most part, they figured it out. They figured it out in the final 3 episodes of Monday Night Raw so that we aren't going into this WrestleMania match with it being at 0% levels of hype. I'm really excited for this Jey Uso versus Gunther match. However, Jey's promo just didn't do it for me. It felt how a usual Jey Uso promo feels, except it doesn't work at this moment. We needed a fully serious Uso going into Mania. I was really disappointed with this Jey Uso promo, and you might just have to call me a grouch. Maybe I'm turning into one of those get off my lawn kids, but I wish that we got a little bit more of a serious Jey Uso here as well. I love the imagery, by the way, of him coming in through the crowd with everybody yeeting, but him just mean mugging and just kind of like nodding his head, not fully yeeting with them. That was pretty cool. And by the time that he got to the ring, I was so excited to hear what he was going to say, especially after hearing that diabolical, blood-curdling promo from Gunther, which was one of, like I already said, Gunther's best of his entire career. I couldn't wait to hear what Jey Uso had to say. Instead, he reverted to the play my music again, the stuff that didn't work at the beginning of this feud, which was the worst part of this feud. Anyways, he did his thing, but at the very least, when he actually opened his mouth, yeah, the yeets were back with the fans, but that worked, you know. And I liked what he said about Gunther, that he was, you know, ready for Gunther, that Gunther, what he saw out there wasn't somebody that was ready to take action, that he was a scared man. I just wish we got more of that, because he only talked about Gunther for quite literally like 15 seconds and then reverted back to yeeting. So it was like a big juxtaposition. It was just weird seeing Gunther deliver this nasty promo, which tells me, oh, this might be like a nasty match, and then Jey Uso delivering like a fun promo. It doesn't click. It just didn't connect. This did not feel like a go-home episode for WrestleMania. These past couple of episodes of both SmackDown and Raw have felt like a buildup for Bad Blood, not the biggest show of the year. I think I know why. I feel like the reason why this build just doesn't feel as good as previous years is, one, because we're comparing it to WrestleMania 40, and that's the greatest build to a WrestleMania that I've ever been alive to experience. But also, two, the build has just been way too long. The amount of time between Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania was just entirely too long. Pushing WrestleMania to Easter weekend meant that many of these feuds had to just sort of be artificially stretched out so that we can make it last the entirety of the WrestleMania season. Look at, in a perfect example, is the Io Sky Bianca and Rhea Ripley feud, where it just sort of felt like they refused to get to the goddamn point, and it was probably because they needed to stretch out the feud to last this much longer WrestleMania build-up season. But yeah, I have to agree, this episode of Monday Night Raw felt like it played it pretty safe, and I get why they're playing it safe, but it just felt like they played it really, really, really safe. I get playing it safe by not having people that have WrestleMania matches having extreme matches, but I don't get playing it safe by having people that are having marquee matches like that 3 women that I just mentioned having pre-recorded promos a week before WrestleMania. I wish we had gotten better interaction between them. So yeah, I kind of agree with you. This didn't feel like particularly the most exciting go-home episode of Monday Night Raw. This version of Seth Rollins is cooking on a different level. He needs to win at WrestleMania and save the WWE. It does feel like we are back to the architect Seth Rollins, somebody that isn't just trying to outdo you physically, but outplay you mentally. When you're playing checkers, this man is playing 4-dimensional chess. And we're seeing it firsthand with his manipulation of Paul Heyman, the guy who himself is the master manipulator being manipulated by the architect Seth Rollins. It's brilliant. Seth Rollins took what should in theory be a disadvantage, being the only non-Paul Heyman guy in this match, and turned it to his advantage by turning Paul Heyman against both of his guys and vice versa. Maybe not like flat out completely turning on them on each other, but at the very least planting the seeds of doubt that might actually sprout and materialize during the actual match. It's been some brilliant gaslighting by Seth Rollins. Karrion Kross is doing some amazing work both on TV and on social media. Without his input, I doubt I'd care about Logan versus AJ at all. Here's the thing, I don't care about Logan versus AJ at all. They haven't done a particularly great job at building that feud. They've done a great job at building AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. They did a good job at building Andrew Schultz in the city of New York versus Logan Paul. But the stuff between AJ Styles and Logan Paul has been so incredibly surface level, it really actually hasn't been a very good build. It pretty much is standing on the legs of Karrion Kross entirely. I do hope that once the WrestleMania dust settles that we get more of Karrion Kross, that we maybe get AJ Styles versus Karrion Kross going into Backlash. I just hope that we don't get Karrion Kross getting put on the back burner again for like 4 months, because that was his Raw Netflix debut, if you can believe that. This is unreal. This is so good. Oh my God, dude. Here we go. Oh.
Oh, man, there it is. That's what I was looking for.
That's what we live for. That's a good moment. That was beautiful. Psych! That was a sneak peek of this week's Wrestling is Cool Match Club WrestleMania edition, available exclusively on patreon.com/SantiZap. This week we're looking at Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes, Bloodline Rules WrestleMania 40. God damn it, it's just as good as I remembered. The legendary match between The Rock and Hollywood Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. The technical classic between Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 19. The WrestleMania 23 Money in the Bank ladder match. And part 3 of the trilogy that was Stone Cold versus The Rock at WrestleMania 19. You'll be getting all of these, plus all the other matches that we've already done, plus the Raw reviews, SmackDown reviews, the currently ongoing and almost done Undertaker WrestleMania match review, the currently ongoing Royal Rumble reviews that we're doing, and so much more, all over on patreon.com/SantiZap. This is all content that we can never upload to YouTube because it would just get blocked due to copyright anyway because we use real footage. So go check it out, patreon.com/SantiZap. I am confident that if you try it even for just 1 month for this WrestleMania season, that you're going to fall in love with the content and the community. If you're already a patron, thank you so much for your support. Now let's get you back to the video. I was hoping for a match stipulation for the War Raiders versus the New Day. I feel like an Extreme Rules match or something along those lines would have worked since they're using the chairs last week. I thought that they were going to do that too, but I really think that, like I said, there is no intent to care about this match. That I still believe that this is just a precursor to the Big E reveal. And if maybe I'm connecting dots, I saw the New Day targeting the necks of the War Raiders, which maybe resonates with Big E, and maybe when they're about to destroy the necks of the War Raiders during the match, Big E comes out. I don't know. I don't know that a stipulation would have necessarily saved this because it is through and through a terrible build. Terrible might even be a little bit nice because it's a non-existent build, but I feel like what they've done is enough to, like I said, set us up for Big E. What's best for business? Could Seth align with Rock and Cena? This would be an Evolution tier faction, the final boss of factions, if you will. I've been seeing this a lot. I saw this a lot, especially after Seth Rollins said that it's going to be best for business, which definitely gives us memories of his time with the Authority. What's best for business was a common line that they use, and it brings us back to John Cena being eliminated in the Royal Rumble, saying that John Cena main eventing WrestleMania is what is best for business. So I don't think that that is just a throwaway line. I think that there might actually be something there. I think it's crazy to think about the fact that somehow Paul Heyman, who is also in some way, shape, or form connected with The Rock, the final boss, now owes Seth Rollins a favor. Seth Rollins helped Cena win Elimination Chamber. Let's not forget about that. And maybe we get a repeat of all of these people getting involved like we did with Bloodline Rules last year, but this time instead of Seth Rollins going out to help Cody, he goes out and attacks Cody. That'd be crazy. I don't know. I don't think it's off the table. I love how Seth was playing mind games with Roman tonight, wearing something very similar to the Shield gear with a vest and hitting Roman in the back with a steel chair. He made it feel like we were back in 2014 again. Also, if Seth wins, he should pin both of them. I think that Seth Rollins is going to win. I'm going to keep saying it until it actually happens, but I think that Seth Rollins and what he has done in terms of planting seeds of doubt in Paul Heyman's head is what's going to be the catalyst for him to win. There will be a moment where Paul Heyman has to choose. He will be between a rock and a hard place. He will be between Roman and CM Punk, and he's going to be forced to choose sides, and he might just pick nobody. And that hesitation might open up the door for Seth Rollins to do something to ultimately pick up the victory. And this all comes off the back of the mind games. And if there is somebody that is a genius at playing mind games, it's Seth Rollins. I don't think that him wearing something similar to the Shield vest that he used to wear was unintentional. Like, these are things that Seth Rollins used to do a little bit more overt, like come out to the Shield theme with the Shield vest, come out in the polka dots. Like, this is a Seth Rollins that loves to mess with his opponent's minds, and we're getting it. We're just getting the babyface version of it, and it feels like less overt, but it's, to me, very clear. The ending of Raw was fantastic, with Roman turning on Heyman, Rollins hitting Roman with a chair again, and Punk taking a bullet for his best friend. My only complaint is that I wish Punk got to talk on the mic before the mayhem. Yeah, what's up with that? Now that's like 2 straight times that we haven't gotten CM Punk to actually talk, because we had the last week where he came out to help Paul Heyman from getting attacked by Seth Rollins, and then he got stomped, and then he stopped himself from stomping Paul Heyman, and then kind of like the same thing happened this week. I'm confused confused by that. You know, CM Punk's best asset, especially at this age in his career, is his vocal cords. It's how good he is with words and how good he is at promoting a match. So to not use him as much on the microphone as they probably should be for this match that is the main event of night one is a little bit peculiar. But it was cool seeing Seth Rollins stand tall again and again in back-to-back weeks against CM Punk. Another week, another tag team division guy showing how damn big the depth of the quality in the company is right now. Julius Creed was great. Julius Creed was amazing. I said this in my live stream that it feels like Julius Creed is everything that they wanted somebody like Jack Swagger to be, except the difference is that Julius Creed is actually being developed slowly as opposed to being crammed down your throat with a random ass world championship reign. And Julius Creed is also far more athletic than Jack Swagger, and he's also significantly more charismatic than Jack Swagger. He's everything that they couldn't get Jack Swagger to be. But the difference is that they're actually being patient with his development. I think Julius Creed might legitimately have the ability to become a major singles player in the WWE somewhere down the line within the next 10 years. He's got everything. I guess they just dropped Ludwig wanting a WrestleMania match. I guess so, but I also feel like they never really leaned into it, because the times that we had Ludwig asking for a WrestleMania match, saying that he demands a WrestleMania match, was all during international commercial breaks. So they weren't ever actually playing them on the main feed of Monday Night Raw. So if they weren't really ever going to push those to the main feed, they were just keeping those to commercial, then maybe it was never actually going to materialize into anything in the first place. It almost feels like they use those commercial promos to test things out, to pilot them, to see what kind of reaction they get. And maybe Ludwig didn't get a good enough, big enough reaction, and maybe they pulled it off. And it's kind of a shame, because I would have loved the idea of Ludwig just hijacking WrestleMania for 5 minutes, saying that he demands a match, and that's the return of Rusev or the return of Aleister Black. That'd be pretty sick too. This SmackDown will do the unthinkable and add 3 more WrestleMania matches: Randy Orton's match, SmackDown title match, and since Chelsea and Zelina are not doing a US title match, Zelina will pin Chelsea for the US title match at Mania. I think that's too much, and I'm gonna be honest with you, respectfully, it's not that I don't think that Chelsea or Zelina don't deserve to be on Mania. That division hasn't been booked good enough to be on WrestleMania. That's the problem. The problem isn't just inherently that the women's mid cards aren't on the WrestleMania card. The problem is that WWE did nothing to make them be good enough to be on the WrestleMania card. The SmackDown tag titles, that deserves to be on the Mania card. They put 8 months of effort into that. And of course, Randy Orton's going to be on the Mania card. Just a question as to with who. I wish that we got one last little push for Rhea, Io, and Bianca. Tonight, their promos were fine, but I would have liked if we got one last heated exchange or brawl to feed us till Sunday. This was maybe the most dragged out feud out of all of the main ones going into WrestleMania, in terms of just how long they kept artificially inflating the big moments that were meant to happen in this feud. Think about how long it took for them to actually add Rhea Ripley to this feud, and then they don't actually use them for the final episode. Listen, I also agree that the promos were fine, but I agree, I would have liked one last heated exchange in the ring with a final stare down with the WrestleMania sign looming above them. That would have helped. So are we just gonna ignore this? Hell no. I see every single Santi Zap sign that you guys bring to shows. Please continue to do it. I really do love and appreciate when you guys do that. Karrion Kross, if booked right, could be a major player in 2025. He has the look, the entrance, the promo skills, and the fans are starting to engage with him. You just need creative to back him. Look, yeah, if creative will back him, I think he could be a huge asset. I think he's got a lot of those traits and qualities that you mentioned. At the very least, they should not be keeping Karrion Kross so much on the back burner, where his last singles match was damn near a year ago, June 2024, and his last match was in December 2024. Like I already said, this is his Raw Netflix debut. That's criminal, especially with how much TV time he got in backstage segments. They couldn't put him in a match with anybody at all. The guy's too good to be keeping on the sideline. I don't know that he'll be world champion or be pushed to the top of the mountain or anything like that, but you should absolutely be using an asset like Karrion Kross far more often than they were using him. Kross's entrance is definitely one of the best in WWE at the moment. I enjoyed his match between him and AJ, and I hope that he gets a big push this year. He's so underrated. Kross's entrance is one of the coolest things about him, so I ask you this, why did they do that during commercial break? The majority of people didn't see that Karrion Kross returned with his old awesome entrance. The match was great too, but did you guys notice that it kind of looked like Karrion Kross let AJ Styles win right before the phenomenal forearm? You had Karrion Kross kind of like smiling, and then he turns and then he puts his arms behind his back, kind of like signaling like he wanted AJ to win, maybe to get that confidence so that he can go and actually beat Logan Paul so he doesn't disappoint the wrestlers that have been doing this for years and years and years and leaving blood, sweat, and tears. He doesn't want that wrestler, his idol AJ Styles, to lose to a YouTuber in Logan Paul. And if that is the case, that's some pretty like deep storytelling, which is why I hope that they continue AJ Styles and Karrion Kross beyond what we just saw here on Monday Night Raw. Rollins will win the match and on night 2 seemingly come out to help Cody after Rock interferes, only to hit a stomp on Cody and help Cena win. I think that this will be the case because of Seth's secret obsession with, quote, what's best for business, and now he wants to, quote, save WWE's future. I don't have like too much to say on this because we already kind of talked about it. I just wanted to give you a representation and show you what people out there on the internet are saying. Like, a lot of people are now sold on the idea that Seth Rollins is now the third man, because a lot of people still believe that there's a third man missing. 1, 2, 3 from The Rock at Bad Blood. A lot of people think that that third is now Seth freaking Rollins. And like I said, it would be kind of poetic if WrestleMania 40, Cody wins because of Seth, and then at WrestleMania 41, he loses because of Seth. Like, that is pretty cool. Chicken Jockey, no disrespect, but even the size is the same. Bro, what is this Minecraft movie doing to people? When this happened during the live stream, my entire chat was just spamming Flint and Steel and Chicken Jockey. What is this Minecraft movie? It's called Hot Takes for a reason, so bear with me, but I think The Rock is going to help Seth Rollins win the triple threat match, revealing Seth sold out to him. Rock and Punk have had beef before, and this could plant the seed for Rock and Roman at Mania 42. Odds of this are not 0. So this is a different take. So you still have him aligning with The Rock, but The Rock actually helps him win at night 1. I don't know, man. If The Rock is somehow going to be involved with Seth Rollins, I personally think like it would hit harder if the reveal is during the night 2 main event as opposed to the night 1 main event. The night 1 main event already has a lot of moving parts. You already got 3 dudes. You got Paul Heyman. That is a lot to move into position here. But I get what you're saying. The Rock interfering here would help set us up for The Rock versus Roman Reigns, maybe at next year's WrestleMania, a match that maybe seemingly will never happen at this point. But I like more the idea of all of this being revealed in the night 2 main event and screwing Cody Rhodes over. Gotta give Bayley and Liv their flowers. I know Liv has been getting a lot of praise lately, which she rightfully deserves. Bayley also has been putting in the work as well, performing in an excellent match against Lyra last week, the Gauntlet match, and now another great match against Liv. Yeah, man, Bayley is awesome. And as you already said, so is Liv Morgan. So if they're so awesome, how come they couldn't come up with anything of substance for them at WrestleMania instead of this lame-ass women's tag team championship match? Had they actually cared, had they actually noticed how good their performers were, we might have actually gotten a proper storyline that didn't take a week and a half to build. I still am of the mind that it should have just been a women's triple threat match for the IC title with some proper time to develop and build, because the talent was there for it, damn it. Hell, they could have made it a fatal 4-way and thrown Raquel in there, and it would have been basically the women's version of the men's Intercontinental Championship fatal 4-way that also has 2 members of the Judgment Day. So somebody's got to give them their flowers, and I guess it's going to be us, the fans online, because I think it's a shame that WWE doesn't want to give them their proper flowers. Seth has been working with John Cena and The Rock this whole time. Seth helped Cena win at Chamber while also screwing CM Punk. The best for business line really cements it, and he is the only one that has referred to this match as being for the, quote, soul of the company. Sound familiar? Listen, I know that you in your mind are making a ton of sense, and I hate that even though you sound at the very least in this tweet like a rambling lunatic, that you are also making sense in my head. I hate how you were able to connect all of this, and I actually am now properly believing that Seth Rollins might actually join The Rock. What the hell? All right, now that my brain has been successfully rotted with the idea that Seth Rollins is actually going to do this, I'm gonna end it there. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. Go.